Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here. So I've got a very festive tutorial for you today. And we're learning how to tie this paracord Christmas tree ornament. Okay? So as you can see, it's based off of the cobra stitch, so it's very easy to do. The only extra sort of materials you'll need are these plastic pony beads. And you can get them at any arts and crafts store or at Walmart or whatnot. But anyways, I think this is definitely a must-have or must-do for the paracord enthusiasts out there. Definitely look great on your Christmas tree or wherever else you want to hang it. And yeah, so that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so I got my paracord ready. I've got two colors here. I've got rust, which is like a brown color, and I've got my forest green or emerald green, I believe. Now for the brown, I've got about 3 feet. That's going to be forming the trunk part of the Christmas ornament. And the green, I've got about 4.5 feet. And I believe you'll have a bit of excess after you're done with each. So if you want to avoid wastage, you can use a bit less. Right? So we're going to start off with the brown. You're just going to double it over like this. Both ends like that. I'm going to measure about, let's say 7 inches or so. This loop part is going to be the loop from which you hang your ornament onto your tree. So if you want this part longer, you can make it longer. If you want it shorter, you make it shorter. Okay? So we're going to start with about 7 inches that I mentioned. Alright, so I'm going to have the loop part facing downwards like this. Now, what you're going to do first is you're going to take a strand on each side like this. You're going to bend them downwards, and you're essentially going to start doing the cobra weave here. So you're going to put one strand over, I'm doing the right strand. You can put the left one over top of that. You're going to put that through the loop on the other side. So you're going to end up like this. And then what you're going to do is ever so carefully pull on these strands to close it up. Now this part's a little tricky because it's not going to lock down tight, but I'll show you how to lock it down tight. But what you do is you move this strand. Now you're just basically continuing the cobra stitch. You do a second stitch like this, same technique. This time I left over the right and then the other side through the loop. You're going to pull this one tight, okay? And this one you'll be able to pull tight. Now after you've pulled that tight, you can just pull down on these 2 center strands. This will close those loops at the top. Okay, so that's our base of our trunk of the Christmas tree. And then we're just going to continue doing the cobra stitch. I'm going to do about 5 stitches. I think that should be sufficient for the trunk of our tree. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now at this point, this is what you should have: the trunk here and the loop like that. So from here, we're going to snip and singe off our excess because we're done the trunk part. So I'm just going to do that really quickly for you guys. Of course, you can use scissors, or I'm using a knife. All right, so I'm just going to slice it, the usual, a couple millimeters away. Like that. We're going to take our jet lighter, singe it lightly. I'm going to press it with my tool, like that. So our end is flat. I'll do it the other side real quick. That side off. And that's it. So got our trunk finished, and now we can move on to the leaves or the rest of the tree. Okay, so now that you've formed the trunk, we can move on to tying the rest of the tree, or the pine needle part of it. So I've got my green paracord, and I'm going to lay it on top, or rather lay my core on top of the middle of that. As you can see, I've got my pony beads here just hanging out in a bracelet, so just they don't scatter everywhere. So now, the way we start this is just like before, with a single Solomon stitch, just to lock everything down. It's that very same knot we tied for the trunk part of the tree. Okay, I'm going to push this up here, like that, and lock it down. Okay, now, next, this is going to form the first set of branches, and because we're doing the beads for the ornaments, at this point we can put a couple beads on each side, or one. Alright, so as you can see here, I've taken my paracord end and I've kind of torched it with my lighter, and then you know, I kind of licked my fingers and then just rolled it into a point. Be careful when you're doing that, of course, not to burn yourself. So I'm going to put one bead on each side. So as you can see now, it's really easy to get the bead onto the paracord. And move that to one side. You can do as many beads as you want. I'm just going to do one on each side, and I'm just going to go randomly. So it's a green and a pink one. So now this next part is a little tricky. Okay, so we're going to tie another Solomon stitch or Solomon knot, but we're going to tie it loosely at first. And your beads will kind of go everywhere, so be careful that they stay where they're supposed to stay. Okay, so now you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm forming the width of my first set of branches here. And now, this doesn't have to be super accurate, but you just want them just about the length that you want them at. Okay, so now I tied one loose Solomon stitch. Then next I'm going to tie another one, and we'll lock down the second one, or the second time. All right, so that's another one there. Okay, so now that we've got them just about where we want them, I'd say so. You can always adjust this too. So I'm going to kind of pull on both strands just to lock them down a bit. And then now, yeah, they look about right here. So I'm actually going to give this another tug. I'm tugging on these two now because I know I have them in the right spot. I'm going to give them a firmer tug. And what you can do from here now is grasp the bottom part of your brown strands and just push. Right? See? Now we formed our first set of branches. Now, of course, you can make this as big or small as you want. I'm just going to go with this length. Now, as you can see, they may not be fully even. They're pretty even, but if they're not, and you want to get more, say, a cord on this side, all you'll do is just look at your knot here. So it would be this one. I'm going to pull a bit of cord from this side here, like that, and then I can pull it out to this side. Right? So as you can see, it made it a bit longer and a bit more even. So this is one of those projects you'll just have to play around with to get perfect. All right, so I tied my first set of branches. Now you can see where I'm going with this. I'm just going to continue. Of course, now we're going to put another couple of beads on. Let's do an orange on one side, and how about a purple on the other? Okay. Right, so now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to tie one sort of loose Solomon stitch. Of course, make sure your bead stays behind there. I'm going to tie a loose one. And I want them a little smaller this time because remember, we're making a tree, so you want the branches to come to like a point, like a triangle. All right, so we did that. And now we're going to tie our second Solomon stitch, like that. Kind of loosely. All right, and then when we get them just about even, I know it looks a little messy right now, but just bear with me. I'm going to pull on these two, like that. I'm going to give the top strings a bit of a tug. Of course, this is a little uneven, so I'm going to adjust. So I can pull this one out a bit, pull that one closed. Alright, so I got that one tight, and then I'm going to push it down again. Okay, so I think that's pretty clear as to the how-to part for the branches. I'm going to continue tying, making more. I'm probably going to adjust this. It's actually a little bigger than I want it to be. But you guys get the point, right? You can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a few more and get them progressively smaller. And then when I get up to here, I'll show you guys how to finish it off. Alright, so as you can see, I've just continued tying and I got the branches progressively smaller until I got to this near my last one here. And for this one, I'm actually going to do 2 more beads on each side. But I'm going to pull it pretty much tight all the way, or as much as I can. You'll have to do another stitch after that just to lock it down because you have the beads in the way. Okay, so I'm going to do that one last stitch. And then, actually I'm going to push it down a little bit, and I'm just going to do one more just so our tree has that little bit of a, I guess, top to it, or tip, like that. One last Solomon knot, And there we have it. Okay, so I'm just going to snip off the excess here as I did before, and I'll be finished. Alright, and we are finished. So I've snipped and singed off the ends up there. And of course, as a finishing touch, if you've got some sort of a star sticker or any sort of plastic star shape, you can always glue that on top as a finishing touch. But that's about it, guys. We have our paracord Christmas tree nicely tied up, ready to go on a tree or pretty much anywhere you want to hang it. Okay? So I hope I've explained everything clearly and concisely. And if you guys have any issues or difficulties, do comment down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Alright? I want to thank you guys for watching, and I know it's a little early at the time of posting this video, but in case I don't get another chance, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. I want to thank you guys for watching and supporting my channel, and that's it. So I'll see you guys in the next video, alright? Bye.